1981 Ford XR3. So this is a very early car. Quite a special car as well. This car was ordered new by a Ford main dealer head technician who went through SVO, so Ford's Special Vehicle Operations Department, to special order the car in black. Wasn't available on the list, color list originally. Obviously it became a color option on the later injected XR3Is, but on the earlier 1600 carb cars, obviously wasn't an option. It does have an SVO plaque as well, which we'll show you in a second. The car's been owned by an absolute fanatic over the last few years. The car's just had a £5,000 full window out, doors off respray. Nice history file with it. Lovely original condition, it's not been messed with. We're going to start by having a look at the bodywork. If we look down this driver's side, if you look from here, you can see that's lovely and sharp all the way down. The body line going all the way down the full side of the car is lovely and sharp and crisp, as is that lower line there. This front driver's wing is immaculate, beautiful and clean. The arch itself is lovely and sharp all the way around, nice and even. As you can see in there, it is a little bit dark, being a black car, but it is really, really good. Again, going back to the guy being a bit of a fanatic, he's just had the calipers rebuilt in the correct Ford silver. It's got the original wheels on it, which are immaculate. There's no sign of any marks or anything on those. And he's had the correct spec Pirelli Cinturato tyres on, the P6s, which are all matching. Loads of tyres, loads of tread, sorry, like brand new. You can see even just that front plastic on there. It's hard to see on the light. Let's see if we can get that lifted up a bit. Really, really good. Coming down this driver's side, no marks or anything on the wing mirror. All the plastics are lovely and dark. They're not covered in back to black or anything like that. Window trim is beautiful all the way down the side. If we have a look on the sill on this side again, really nice and clean, as is the underside of the car, as you can see. It's been a fair weather car for a long time, this thing. Again, this plastic trim, obviously that's kind of a signature of the XR3. It's all correct, stamped, the right screws and everything in it. Lovely and clean. It sits beautifully against here. Quite often they'll lift, but that one's really, really good. There's no marks around the door locks or around the handles. We've got the correct stamps on the windows. So all the way around, correct stamps. I'll have a look on the A-pillar and everything from here. Again, lovely and clean all the way up. Around the screen, and we'll have a proper look along from the other side in a second. It's really, really good. Same with along the top. The roof itself, lovely and flat. There's no ripples or dents or anything in that. And I've got the sunroof open just because I want to show you that in there. Lovely and crisp all the way around. The edge is fantastic. You know, there's no sort of flaking or anything on that. The glass itself is lovely and clear, as is the rest of the glass, as you can see. Coming down this rear quarter, this arch, lovely and sharp all the way around again. Same scenario as the front. Pirelli P6, correct wheel. He's had the new correct spec wheel nuts put on as well recently. And there's a couple of screws around the back. He's done the same thing. I want to show you. Come along here again, beautifully clean all the way around. Definitely the best XR3 I've ever seen. Then you add in the fact that it's a special order black, it's a really cool thing. Again, from here with the light behind, in front of me, you can sort of see just how sharp that body line is all the way down. No ripples, it's not full of filler. Coming around on the back, the bumper sits perfectly level and straight, as you can see. It's got the correct badging on, nothing more, nothing less. XR3 on the left, Ford badge on the right, which are both in lovely condition. Correct stamped tail lights that are lovely and bright. Dealer plates on there as well with the sticker, which is always a nice touch. When we picked the car up, the vendor did say that he spent 10 quid on these two screws because of the correct Ford spec ones. I mean, you just don't get that kind of attention to detail. It's always a good sign. Bumper itself, the painted bit is lovely and clean. The rubber section and the plastic section is all nice and tidy. It's not dried out or cracked or anything. Lower half of this valance, again, very, very good. All the seams, lovely and clean all the way down. The bottom half is excellent. You can have a look underneath there. You can see the wheel well and everything. Really good. It has had the only aftermarket thing on it, a stainless exhaust, which does sound fantastic. We'll start it up in a second. Obviously XR3i's got this rubber spoiler, which normally they dry out and crack and they get a bit damaged from people opening the boot with them. But this one, as you can see, above and below, beautifully clean all the way around. And then where it reaches the metal around the screen, that's brilliant all the way around there. all the way around. I'm trying to find something to sort of whinge about on this car, but it's very difficult. Going down this passenger side, same as the other side, lovely and straight all the way down this body line, as you can see. Coming up onto this side of the roof, have a look in the gutter again. Lovely and clean. You can have a look inside that sunroof from here as well. Lovely and straight on the roof. Stamps on the glass in the right places as well. Rear quarter, again, it's been a bit of proper finish. The black's really deep. Lovely, lovely finish. Nice and sharp all the way around on that arch. Exactly the same spec on the wheels as the other side. But you can see inside the arches and everything as well. No sign of any corrosion. Super, super clean. Same story on that trim there. And all the way down that sill. Lovely and tidy all the way along. You've got a tiny, if we're being really picky, hairline scratch just there. Absolutely nothing, but it's about as picky as I'm having to be to find anything wrong with this car. You can actually see more of me than you can of the bodywork, obviously, which on a black car is a really good sign. Lovely and clean around that wing mirror. And then onto this front arch, the bottoms of them, lovely and solid. Nice and sharp all the way around there. Lovely and clean wheel again. And then onto the bonnet. Again, you can see more of the ceiling than you can of the car. It's like glass, really good. Leading edge is nice and sharp. We were actually booked to go and get this car last week, but obviously because of the rain, we cancelled it. It was the owner sort of wanting to keep the car nice and fresh. It's obviously a good sign of how he's kept it. It's got the correct finish on that lower valance with a sort of stone guard on the bottom. And then it's got this trim which fits beautifully all the way along. All the bumper on the front, nice and tidy. It's got the correct spot lamps. All the headlights and stuff, forward badged, hella. No sign of any cracks. Lovely and clean on both sides. We'll have a good look under that, on top of that scuttle all the way along, which is lovely and clean around the wipers and the washer jets. Really, really good in those seams. It's just not a speck of corrosion anywhere on it. It's really, really good. That seam there and coming all the way up, lovely and tidy. Definitely the best XR3 I've seen. Right, moving on to the interior. Obviously the edges of the doors, bottoms of the doors, door shuts are all beautifully clean. Still got the correct original holes here where the Z-bar would have gone in, or the wax oil. Driver's seat's immaculate, there's not a mark on it. They have just been properly detailed and cleaned, but I get a feeling they were probably pretty clean before that as well. It's got the original sort of waffle mats as well, which normally break apart, and they're in lovely condition. Carpet underneath, really, really good. So you've got that lift up flap there where you can have a look. You can see all nice and obvious down there, no sign of any corrosion. The back seats don't look like they've been sat on at all. Really, really good. It is missing, if we're going to be really picky. So you have this little plastic trim here. You can just see it's a bit dark, I apologise. So the left hand side one is missing. I did notice that they're a pretty standard Escort part. They're on eBay for about £7. Actually only just noticed that when we picked it up this afternoon. Dark headlining, lovely and clean. Your blind and everything's still there and in proper condition. Steering wheel shows no real signs of any wear at all. Lovely and clean all the way around. It's not been driven with loads of big rings on or anything like that. Same goes for the gear stick and the handbrake. All nice and original, standard Ford stereo, equalizer and everything in there. This one's on 80,284 miles. You can check the description, we'll detail what we know about service history and things like that. But again, yeah, lovely and clean. It is worth pointing out, it does have one of the sort of Ford dash covers if you want to use that, because there is a little crack just down the top there in the usual spot. But I don't think I've ever seen one without that. It's almost sort of weird if it's not there, to be fair. Into the boot, and again, being picky, the rams are a little bit soft to hold the weight, and a really common issue on this sort of era Escort. But the parcel shelf hasn't been cut for speakers or anything like that. Lovely and clean in there. And then if we're under the boot floor, lift that sort of sound ending, which has normally gone missing by now, you can see. Lovely clean in there. Same spec on the wheel and tyre. No sign of any corrosion coming through. And then round into the passenger side, much the same story as the other side. Lovely clean door card. The outside of the doors, all good. Door shuts are lovely. Even the seatbelts are lovely and clean. No sign of any marks at all on this seat either. Lovely and clean. It's about as good as you're going to find them. It's just not possible to get them any better than that. And the mats and everything good on this side. The carpet's lovely underneath. This side of the dash is all good, no sign of any marks or cracks or anything on that. And then under the bonnet, just gonna have some dodgy camera work for a second while we prop this up. So you've got that 1600 XR3 CVH engine, obviously. Again, all this is lovely and clean, correct stamped, not a mark on it. No sign of any fluid dropping out from underneath it. And this is the bit you want to see. So it's quite hard to see on the camera. We will put a picture on the description. So it's Ford badge on the left-hand side. Special vehicle orders, so SVO. The order number, which is here on the right. The code for the job, and then body paint colour, black. So obviously that wasn't available as a colour. It's very hard for the camera to pick that up. Apologise about that, but we will put a picture on the description. So this colour wasn't available. The car was painted black from new. It is registered as a black car. It's always been black. Through special vehicle orders or SVO, as a special order, like I say. Same way that Diana got her black RS Turbo. This chap thought he'd have a black XR3, which for me I think is a really good colour for this car. It looks fantastic. All nice and clean around the strut tops. Lovely along this front panel. This plaque and everything's nice and tidy, as is the one on the right hand side. If you look at the headlight adjusters, they're immaculate as well, which if you're sad like me, that'll excite you. And then obviously I would say this pack, if you check the pictures, it's all detailed on there. Strut tops near the wings on this side, really good. All the bottles are nice and clean and clear. We'll get it started up. So starts on the button. If we go around the back, does make quite a good sound from that little exhaust. Give it a little bit of a rev so you can hear it. It is cold, so I'm not going to bounce it off the limit or anything like that. Yeah, good sounding thing. Nice and happy under there. Sounds just like a CVH to me. So there you have it. Special vehicle orders, 1981 Ford Escort XR3. If you've got any questions, please get in touch. If you want to come and have a look at the car, that's fine. Just let us know. We'll book you in. If you can't get to us, or you're too far away or anything like that, or you're in a different country, again, let us know. We can do video calls. We can send you extra photos or videos, whatever you might need. Thank you.